Well, today we're in Lockerbie, a town I know well. I grew up not far from here. Lockerbie, of course, is known for the tragedy of the air crash on the town some 30 years ago. But I want to talk today about another tragedy, a tragedy that happened in Lockerbie in 1593. Alex Salmond and Nicola Sturgeon often talk about a battle that happened in 1314, the Battle of Bannockburn. The Battle of Dryfe Sands that took place just outside Lockerbie is actually far more relevant to the situation that we face in Scotland today. It was all about a family feud between the Johnstons and the Maxwells. And it's a metaphor for the divided society that we have in Scotland today. 700 people were killed in that battle between two families. Just think of that. It makes the massacre of Glencoe between the Campbells massacring the MacDonalds seem like a Sunday school picnic by comparison. It all started with the theft of a horse. It got so bad that the Johnsons piled a whole lot of, the Maxwells piled a whole lot of Johnsons into a church in Lochmaben just up the road and set fire to it and burnt alive all the people inside. So the Battle of Dryfe Sands was 700 people were killed. The streets of Lockerbie were running red with blood. And the captain of the Maxwells, Lord Maxwell, was thrown off his horse, had his arm chopped off while he was still alive. And then a contemporary report said that he had his brains smashed out by one of the wives of the Johnsons with a bunch of keys. Now, why is this relevant today? Why am I standing in Lockerbie on a Thursday afternoon giving you a history lesson? Well, first, because as I say, it is a metaphor for the divided society that we're living in today because of the toxic SNP neverendum. On my way here, I saw a few SNP stickers in windows, posters in windows. I didn't see any for any other party. You know why that is? It's not because nobody's going to vote for other parties. It's because they know that they may get their windows smashed by the SNP followers. The other reason for talking about it is because all of that happened, the bad times, the times of the border reivers, because of the border. The border not very far from here. I'm standing outside Lockerbie Station. The people of Lockerbie, many of them go to Carlisle from here to work each day, to go to school. None of that was possible then. There was a hard border between Scotland and England. And a hard Skexit would put a hard border again between our two nations, potentially. The other thing about a border is I know a lot about borders. When I was in the army, I served in bandit country in South Armagh. Borders do bad things to people. It produces crime, smuggling, and from that you get the sort of lawlessness that they saw at the Battle of Dryfe Sands all those years ago. All that those bad times disappeared with the Union of the Crowns in 1603. It's a matter of historical fact that once the border went, peace was restored to the south of Scotland. The other thing about a border and about Lockerbie is that this is a market town, effectively. It's got an abattoir just down the road there where I've often brought cattle to be slaughtered. The big employer around here is the cheese factory just up the road where the milk from my farm comes to be made into cheese. What would happen to agriculture if we separated from the rest of the UK? 70% of our farm produce ends up going south to English supermarkets. What would happen to our subsidies on which many marginal farmers on marginal land need to survive? Who would pay those subsidies? Would the Scottish taxpayer really be able to generate enough money to carry on paying those subsidies? Would we get back into Europe? If we do, is it really going to be much help if we're outside the internal market of the UK? So that's why I'm standing for All for Unity. I don't want to see the south of Scotland carry on with the type of division, the kind of politics of grudge and grievance that we're seeing at the moment. And I don't want my farm to be separated from its core market in the rest of the UK. So that's why I'm asking you to help me stop separation, even stop this threat of separation and the never-endum, which is causing all the divisions in our society. So I want you to do two things. The first thing is to go online and find our unity pledge and find the petition that asks the government to bring in a Canada-style Clarity Act that would stop the never-endum in its tracks. And the second thing is to vote for a strong voice from me and from George Galloway in Holyrood on the 6th of May by giving your first vote on the lilac ballot paper to the party best placed to beat the SNP, and on the peach-coloured ballot paper, the orange ballot paper, find All for Unity near the top of the piece of paper. You'll see our Spitfire roundel symbol and vote All for Unity. Thank you.